What is going on there, guys? I want to go and talk about an experience I had watching this horror movie that fucking traumatized me and still holds up really till this day. 100 Feet, 2008, Famke Jensen. Pretty simple storyline, guys. Famke Jensen, she kills her abusive husband. Now she's on house arrest, and his ghost gets resurrected into the location where he got killed at, and is going up against Famke Jensen, who was on house arrest in this apartment, and he's tormenting her just fucking throughout the way, and just, scary like. He's also a cop, so he had a partner, and his partner's really taking shit out on Famke Jensen. He's like, "You bitch, he just had to kill my partner. He didn't deserve that." So he's giving her a hard time throughout this movie. I forget the actor's name. I don't really see him in anything too much, but in this movie, guys, he did really good in other movies. He was in Maxine, and he's a great actor from the movies I've seen him in. But guys, I'm telling you, this fucking movie right here, guys, it's a pretty simplistic movie with really effective scares. I mean, the storyline isn't anything crazy. There's only really about 5 characters in this movie. It's set at the same location. So I would pretty much call this movie like cheap, but very effective, guys. I'm telling you. She's in the apartment most of the movie, well, pretty much all the movie, and she's just getting tormented by her dead husband, who was abusing her, and she had to kill him in self-defense, and, he didn't take it lightly. So he was a bad guy being alive, and being dead and being a ghost now to torment her. He's even worse. This movie calls for some good scares, guys. The power goes out. She's using these candles. The candle goes out. We get this introduction of the ghost and what he looks like being dead. We see some photos of him while she's cleaning up the house, and we see what he looks like. And he kind of already has like this meanish look to the husband already. You know what I mean? He just looks like some dick and some mean asshole. And him being dead, guys, I'm telling you, he looks fucking evil. I'm telling you, this ghost design is one of the scariest designs I think I've seen of a horror character, to me personally. I think even till this day. Monsters don't necessarily scare me. If I see like this octopus or something like that, I'm not like, holy shit. If I bump into that, in a dark alley or whatever, it's like, you're probably not going to bump into that. But with these ghostly shits, guys, I'm telling you, they could be real, and no one really has the answers. No one really knows what a ghost looks like, or ghosts real, how do they work, whatever it is. So it's really something that could be real right in front of us, and we don't even fucking know it until we're dead. But anyways, guys, so the way he looks, first of all, he actually looks pretty badass. He's scary as fuck, but guys, like I said, he was a cop. But when he's dead and a ghost, he's wearing this suit. It's black and white. So he has a sophisticated, cool look to him, but don't let that fool you. I'm not saying like this guy looks pretty dope. You want to hang out with this guy. Fuck no. When you see what he does, you're going to want to get away from this dude. This guy is honestly more effective and more brutal than fucking, I would say, Michael Myers, fucking Freddy Krueger, Jason, probably not Art the Clown, but up there with Art the Clown, guys. I'm telling you, this guy right here, the way he kills people is not fucking okay at all. So before I get into like the scenes, guys, that really traumatized me, I just want to go ahead and give some shout outs to the scares that are in this movie. Movies have like jump scares that to me aren't effective and rely heavily on music. Insidious, I think, has some good scares, and then the music, combined with it, that's one movie that pulled it off both ways. I mean, with the jump scares and the music. This movie, guys, this movie doesn't really have like the standout score where when scary shit happens, we hear like this piano and shit that stands out. Nothing like that. But to me, guys, I think that is scarier. To me, movies that I watch, well, don't get me wrong, one of the scariest movies ever is because of the music, I'd say. Sinister. The songs that carried those scenes were fucking just evil and disturbing and get under your skin and create this ambience that's like no other. But this movie, guys, it's really just about more of the impact and the action and the visuals and what's really going on, as opposing to editing it into like sound like a movie and film where it's like shit's going on and we got this cinematic score playing where it's like, no, shit's just going on. There's no music. There's no just sounds of what the fuck was just going on. Famke yelling, and the ghost doesn't talk, so yeah, we just hear chaos and blood squirting and fucking bones breaking and fucking things crushing, and it's brutal, guys. So the scare is very effective. Like I said, guys, he's wearing this suit and tie. Looks like his nails are painted black, but not like painted black like Marilyn Manson, like he's trying to, it just looks like parts of his body are just blackish, and it just looks fucking evil and crazy, like his nails, like his, first of all, he's not like necessarily white. He has like this grayish hue to him. And like his cuticles, his nails are kind of blackish. It looks pretty crazy. There's a part where he's going down the stairs and he's holding on to like the handle of the stairs, and we kind of see his hand, and it just looks all like blackish and grayish. Looks pretty fucking evil and scary. And that right there, I was like, okay, no wonder why that was scaring me as a kid. And this shit still holds up. That looks pretty fucking awesome. If I were to see that, like for example, if 100 Feet were to come out today and I were to see that entity in the movie in 2026, I'd be like, oh shit, we are on to something, guys. We need an entity like this in 2026. And like I said, guys, what makes it scary is because the ghost of what he is, like, you know, these ghosts could really be like this. I don't like the ghosts too much that are like demon-like, where it's like, you know, they're like zombie-ish and shit like that. I mean, that seems like maybe a little too old-fashioned, like, you know, resurrecting from the grave and walking like Frankenstein or something. I'm not sure. But I always looked at like ghosts, demon entities as being like, if they are going to be wanderers on this earth and all this stuff and like, you know, being around the living, I would picture them as like entities, like energies, like, you know what I mean? Nothing too physical where you can grab it and, you know, shake its hand and all this stuff. But it's just like this, like the movie 100 Feet has, it's just like this pure just entity of like made out of smoke and ghostly, like misty. And yet you can't grab it, but you can see it. But yet it looks hollow and it doesn't look all the way fulfilled. It looks like, and although dark with black eyes and all like this shit, like that's how I picture it, guys. Like the movie in Stare of Echoes, like very glitchy, and like, you know, shit like that, and very palish, you know, pale. Like I said, this guy's skin, he's not like, you know, he doesn't look like he's living. He definitely looks dead with him being gray and shit. So that right there, guys, I think it gives him his own scary look. But guys, the scene that really fucking got to me so fucking much, and one thing I want to go ahead and say, guys, is that, like I said, that this movie scared the fuck out of me as a kid, and I needed to know, or I was like, guys, am I the only one that this movie got to as a kid? Like, really, because this movie, when it came out and I watched this, I couldn't sleep. I had night sweats. I couldn't be home alone. I don't care if it was daytime. My parents had to get me a fucking dog. It was bad. You know, it was hardcore, guys. I was telling my friends about this movie at school. I was like, guys, this fucking movie right here fucked me up. And yeah, it was bad, guys. I really think this movie really got to me for like, I think like a couple years, like a year or two. I know for sure like a year, but I think it really took like a couple years for it to kind of like fade away type shit. It was fucking insane. No movie got to me like this. Now, the scene that got to me, guys, was at first, you know, watching this movie, I was like, okay, this movie actually it's pretty good. It's good shit. It's good shit. And, you know, for the most part, the reviews are pretty low, but fuck all that shit, guys. You know, this movie's actually, it's scary, it holds trauma for me, and it still holds up till this day. I mean, I think that's a really cool idea that, like I said, the ghost entity remains in this house because he's dead, and now she has to be on house arrest in this house, so she's left with no other choice but to go anywhere else but to deal with his entity in the house. And now he's just left to fucking fuck with her and torment her and get his karma back. So it's like the job isn't finished. You know what I mean? So calls for a great story. So watching this, I was like, okay, this movie's scary, but you know, I've seen some scary movies, you know, around my time, like, you know, movies like Strangers, Vacancy, Joyride, you know, but for the most part, nothing like brutal and fucking, you know, faces getting ripped off, crazy stuff, but horror and thrillers and, you know, a lot of rated R movies. But guys, so there's a scene in this movie where there's this delivery boy that comes over and he has to give her goods because she's on house arrest. They fall for each other, guys. I believe that she calls him over or something like that, and he wants to go and come over, but she's like, look, I don't think it's a good idea. My fucking husband's tormenting me. I know I have a ghost here. He's fucking crazy and, you know, just doing all this. Now, there are parts in the movie, guys, I believe that there is a part in the movie where before he comes over and they get the banging, she has to get rid of all his shit. All his shit. So she's getting rid of his clothes, you know, his outfits, anything that remains in the house. She goes in the attic, finds a bunch of money, finds out he's a dirty cop, gives it to the church, and then she's like, here, you know, Father, I want you to take this. I'm donating it to the church. This is for you, and this and that. So she feels that everything is good. But there's a part, guys, in the movie where the pizza boy comes over, they're talking, they get it on, very fast, like, I'm telling you. I mean, just straight to the point. And this scene's pretty fucked up and disturbing, guys. You're getting it on, and she's laying flat on the bed, and he's on top of her. And so she's looking up at the ceiling, and his ghost is looking down at her while they're doing it. And he just looks fucking like, not even mad, just hurt. Like, oh my gosh, like, you're really doing this to me? Like, really? Like, and I'm sure when you probably first see that scene, like, it's probably like, he's going to take it out on her or something like that. You know what I mean? I'm surprised he didn't really do something in the midst. But still, guys, the way he looked and the way that the scene was edited is pretty fucking just dark and like disturbing and eerie and just like 10 out of 10, just fucking just crazy. So, next morning, guys, and I'm telling you, you get this feeling by the way that the room looks, the lighting, just the sound design, just the vibe of it. It is not okay. Something is going to happen. And this scene right here, guys, is a scene that fucking caused years of traumatizement for me. Next morning, she wakes up and she looks out the window after they get done doing it. And, he's waking up, all this stuff. She gets out of bed, looks through the blinds. It's a beautiful day. And I really think that right there is even fucking crazier to add, knowing what comes next. I swear to God, it would have been, I think it like, the fact that they woke up and then all of a sudden this happened would have been different. But the fact she wakes up and she's like, it's such a beautiful day. And then when she looks over, she sees the ring on her hand and reminds herself that, hey, there is still something that belongs to him that is his in this house. So he can still be here. He's still here. And she knew that last night when they were boning because she was rubbing it in his face, trying to like, make a mockery of him. Guys, right when she notices the ring, the fucking dude flies to the closet and he's just being floated, like picked up. You know what I mean? Like he's just like this unknown entity that we can't see, this invisible man type is fucking picking him up, throwing him up into a wall and smacking the shit out of his stomach. Smacking the shit out. And the sound effects, guys, they sound a little like cheesy and kind of funny. But as a kid, you don't fucking know any better. And I'm not even going to lie. I watched this movie last night, and I got to say, those sound effects still like, really got me like, whoa, what the fuck? I've never like kind of even heard a sound effect like that, like in a movie of somebody getting beat. Like, it sounds off and weird and awkward. And he's getting slapped, and we hear this fucking kid just screaming in agony, which is like, it's so painful to see. And then, guys, he turns him around and fucking bends his arms backwards. Like, I'm talking like, guys, like he gets his arms and like fucking bends them like that, like lifts it up and his shoulders and they just break. And he does that to both of his arms, both like, all this shit, guys. And I promise, when I saw that as a kid, I had butterflies in my stomach like no other. I was like, okay, dude. This is fucking insane. And I remember I put the pillow to my face and I was like, okay, this is fucking insane. I don't need to see this. And it was so fucking nasty and insane, guys, that even covering my face with a pillow, and like I said, the sound effects and the agony of hearing this kid and no music at all to give you like something to just grasp onto for closure. No, we're just hearing pure agony and pure beating and Famke Jensen screaming for him to stop. And it's just fucking insane, guys. And I know horror movies have this. And I'm sure that there are other horror scenes out there that some people would classify as more brutal and disturbing. But for me, guys, I gotta say, this shit fucking scarred me as a kid. And watching it yesterday, I didn't feel so good really watching this. I'm telling you. Man, and I was even drinking and like, all that shit too, watching the movie. So, I mean, I'm telling you, a little intoxicated and all that stuff too, watching it, that shit still didn't help, guys. I'm telling you. I don't know if it's maybe the past experiences of just being a kid and being reminded of what the fuck it felt like. But either way, guys, that beating and that scene is just not okay. Like, I'm a horror fan, guys. I have fucking Michael Myers. I got Wolfman. I got Mr. Boogie. I got all these horror movies, these streets, all that shit right there. So I'm telling you guys, like, I know horror movies, you know what I mean? Like, these horror kills, like, these scenes are just fucking fine, by me. But I'm telling you, this scene right here, guys, just really felt like it was trying to prove a point. Like, you ever heard of like some, critics be like, "Yo, this movie's fucking sick. I think this director is a weirdo, and I think he's trying to I think he did this for his own personal what is it, pleasement or entertainment and all that shit." You know what I mean? Now, guys, I have read reviews and people saying where they're like, I personally think this fucking director did this stuff. This scene is just nasty and awkward. I think he did this to get a personally kink off or something like that. I don't even like this movie anymore. I've heard some reviews say that like, yo, I've liked this movie, but watching this movie and with this scene in it, I honestly don't like this movie anymore. That's how fucking brutal this scene is. Some people are like, the movie is so tame, but this scene just comes out of nowhere and it's so fucking brutal. It throws off the rest of the movie. Now, guys, I actually have to agree with that. You know what I mean? I think this movie's honest. Either way, I watch the whole movie. The whole movie doesn't bother me. That scene definitely fucking traumatized me, though. But it makes sense. But yeah, guys, I'm not gonna lie. This movie's pretty tame, but that scene fucking comes out of nowhere. It's really like probably watching like a movie like, The Hitcher. You know what I mean? You're probably watching like, I don't know if you guys know The Hitcher or something pretty tame. Like movie maybe like Paranormal Activity, the first one. Shit like that that's not too bloody. You know what I mean? Just like, just scary and just all like this shit. And all of a sudden you get this fucking Terrifier kill out of nowhere. It's like, huh? Like this movie was pretty tame and all this shit. And all of a sudden, fucking, and like I said, guys, this kill is not like a stab and whatever. He's getting his arms bent and broken. His stomach slapped fucking brutally. He's getting his face broken. He's getting his neck broken up to the ceiling. He's getting thrown around. It is just fucking mean, guys, and brutal. But like I said, I mean, if we're really talking about gore and brutality, it's pretty fucking awesome, I'm telling you. And I remember, guys, when I saw this scene yesterday, I was like, you know what? This scene feels so fucking personal that I get the feeling, guys. This is why I agree with the reviews right here. I do. I like the movie, but I agree with you guys. I don't want to watch it anymore because of that brutality scene. I got the feeling, guys, from that scene that, you know what? I get the feeling that this director maybe got cheated on by like maybe, because he's some older director, probably around like 50 or something. I got the feeling that his wife probably cheated on him with like some younger dude. And now he has this fucking bone to pick with, something like that. So he wanted to reenact and make a scene where, something about cheating and then a guy getting his up against like a boyfriend or cheating or something like that. That's the vibe I got, guys, because the way that this fucking ghost beat the shit out of this kid, like it wasn't even so much where it's like, let's emphasize that this guy's brutal. Let's emphasize that what he's like and what he can do. No, this fucking ghost is doing things that I've never seen in movies. I've never seen somebody get slapped like, by a ghost. Like, so brutal, like it's like, huh? Like, okay, that's kind of a weird decision. Let's slap the fuck out of him. Let's bend his arms backwards. Let's headbutt the shit out of him and have his jaw show and look so fucking real. Like, I'm telling you guys, the way his jaw is poking out and being broken, it looks so real that it's fucking insane. Oh, also, smashing his face, like, on this counter with his teeth. Oh, my gosh. I'm telling you guys, like, this was a scene in movies back in the day, like before. See, this is why I want to give credit to this movie, because this was before Art the Clown. This was before fucking Hatchet, I believe. All these brutal ass movies that do shit like this for the fun of it. No, this movie, guys, I'm telling you, like this scene, like I said, it's like a curve stomp. Like he puts his teeth right here and then loses all his teeth, breaks his fucking face, all this stuff. It's like, dude, no way, dude. No fucking way. We get this guy's abusive. We get he's evil. We get he's a bad guy. We get he's jealous. But that right there is something that I'm telling you guys, like, it's even so fucking uncalled for. It really is. It's like, and what's fucked up is because we kind of feel for the dude, and it's not even his fault. And that's what kind of makes it even more fucked up. It's just, I'm telling you guys, and when you see the cover of this movie, this scene is the cover of the movie. So I'm really starting to think, guys, that they may have like just fucking had this scene in mind and maybe just based a storyline around it. I don't even know, because the fact that this movie is pretty tame, not so bloody and all this shit, and all of a sudden we get this fucking kill where buckets of blood, all this practical effects coming, and some CGI and all this shit. It's like the fact that they went out of their way to just like do this scene for this movie, it like doesn't fit, but it's fucking crazy that they did this. I don't even know how to feel about this movie, guys. I don't, because when I watch this movie, I get this disturbing eeriness feeling where it's like a roller coaster, where it's like a fucking drop is gonna come. And that's how I feel about this scene, where when I watch this movie, I'm like, ah, fuck, man, you know what I mean? I feel like this is a movie I can never eat to. I'm never going to be making a sandwich with some hot Cheetos and watching this movie. Fuck no. And when I watch it, I'm always just going to be fucking just, I don't even know. I feel like my vibe is going to be so fucking thrown off every time that scene comes on, because fuck. But either way, guys, this movie is actually still really good. It actually holds up till this day. I liked it when I was younger. It traumatized me, so I sure as fuck didn't watch it again. But, watching it last night, guys, 2026, about like, what is that? Probably about like, 15 years later, something like that, 18 years later when this movie came out. And guys, I gotta say, this shit still holds up, but it is one fucking ballsy ass film. That's one thing I can say right there, guys. That is one thing I can say, is that this film right here just doesn't hold back. I feel like they kind of did that on purpose. It's really something different. It's not one of those movies that's like bloody throughout, and then like there's that one brutal ass scene in there in the midst. No, this movie feels PG-13, and then you get that scene. Now the movie went from PG-13 to fucking NC-17. Literally. Fucking ballsy. 100 Feet, guys, Famke Jensen, short cast, but I'm telling you, I think this movie, guys, not only is like, again, just with that scene, fucking brutal and fatality-like, but pretty scary. Really, guys, like, I mean, I've seen some reviews where people are like comparing this to, I forgot what term they use, but comparing it to like Japanese horror with the way that the husband looks as a ghost. Now, I haven't really gotten into Japanese horror, but I get what you're saying about like that ghostly dark vibes with the blackish, again, with the hair, the nails, the suit. And, also, guys, when he beats the shit out of that kid, like I said, when he's gray and he has like the suit on, remember? Now, when he beats him, he is now all red and bloody looking. And I swear, guys, he looks fucking scary like that. I swear, like, you know what I mean? Him being covered in this blood, it gave him like this certain look where it was like, oh shit, I'm telling you guys, like, fuck, man, like, it just seems that, like, I mean, although the movie was cheap, the scares did not feel that way at all. They were fucking genuinely edited and directed properly. So much so that I believe that even that there was some eeriness on the set of this movie type shit. There's also a really cool part, guys, since the ghost doesn't talk. She's like, what do you want? He grabs her face and like smears it on the wall, and she's bleeding because, you know, some of those walls are like sandpaper-ish, you know what I mean? They're so fucking dry, and they have like those little specks of them that are kind of sharp that can split your skin and shit. So he's dragging her face on the wall, and I thought this scene was pretty cool because, again, she's bleeding on the wall when he's dragging her face, and it spells out, you. What do you want? Throws her, and then she looks up and it says, you. I thought that was pretty awesome. It's like, I'm gonna fucking hurt you and like beat the shit out of you and like spell. I'm gonna use like your face to spell. Why use paint? Why use all that? He's an abusive husband anyway, so he grabs it, does that, and I thought that, okay, that was good. It makes sense. And like, fuck, like that was pretty clever right there. That's a cool way to explain, like, what do you want? Like, it's not like holding up a picture where it's like, oh, that's me. It's more of just about like, you know, like, grabs her face and, yeah, I want you, and throws it and like all this stuff. It's like pretty fucking brutal. There's another scene where she's trying to like, you know, get rid of like the ring, and she puts it in this garbage disposal. And yeah, his arm comes out from the sink and pulls hers in. And that scene's really intense right there. I think that's another really good scene. All the scenes, guys, that I think that portray the ghost are actually done very well. I've heard some complaints about the ending feeling rushed and all this shit. And although, yes, possibly, but you know what, guys? The formula of this movie, it's like I said, not story-like. You're not going to get no Steven Spielberg, David Fincher ending. It's going to feel pretty rushed. You know, and due to the simplistic matter of it, I think that they handled it pretty well. Honestly, I think that the way that the movie was paced and ended really made sense. I didn't feel the movie was short, long. I found it being at a pretty good pace. I found that, like, where time was at. This is where we should be at. Okay, we're about an hour and 20 minutes in. Doesn't feel that like they have so much left to explain. It just feels that all they have to do is probably wrap this up and then just call it a movie. And I think we're good. They did that. Like, for example, there's about 5 people in this movie, guys. So, I mean, if 2 are dead or whatever and all this shit, then, I mean, how many are left? I mean, really. So, with only being about 5 people in this movie, the husband, Famke, the detective, the pizza boy, probably even 4. And so, yeah, we get the, after that sex scene, the pizza boy gets fucking killed brutally. Now, it's just her, the ghost, and the detective, his partner. So, this part's very interesting, guys. After that brutal kill, he's standing there all bloody like, and I swear, guys, the way he ends it off, he flies to the ceiling, like he lifts up that body, and his head just snaps and breaks, just off the ceiling. And I thought that was like fucking intense and brutal. So, the detective, he's outside the whole time. He's monitoring the house. He's watching all this shit. So, and eventually he hears some commotion going on. He's familiar with that pizza boy going over there, but he can't stop them from boning. If that's what they wanted to do, they could do. So, he goes over to the place, guys, and she's disposing of his dead body. Now, there are floorboards in the house where, he was a dirty cop, so the husband was probably using these floorboards to stash money and stash it. And she finds out about this little stash spot, so she takes the dead body and disposes him in the floorboards. Now, guys, I'm telling you, another really cool part is after that the kid is dead, the ghost looks up at her, and he's all covered in blood. And he looks all like this, like, and like there's a part where he just fucking melts into like blood, like Terminator 2 style, and just melts into like the floorboards, which I thought was a pretty cool scene right there for him just to disappear. So now it's like left to her. And the detective comes over, guys, and this fucking scene is so suspenseful. This is why it makes it a good movie, because of shit like this that you don't really see in much movies, and it's a brilliant idea and it works. The detective comes over and he's trying to search for like, hey, is anyone else in here? I know that motherfucker came in here and all like this stuff. And the ceiling, guys, is starting to crack from the dead body being up there. And the Famke and the detectives are talking, and she's starting to notice. And it's hella funny because there's hella dust and fucking noises and all that shit landing on his shoulder. And he's like, I'm going to be back in a couple of minutes. And all this stuff. And she's like, okay, I need you to go. You know the exit and all this stuff. And the fucking thing is just slowly cracking and cracking and cracking. And we're like, oh my gosh, is that shit going to fall on him? This is fucking intense. Guys, he doesn't move a fucking step. That shit just falls on him immediately, on the detective. He is startled as fuck. The dead body just literally goes, doof, lands on him. What the fuck? You fucking bitch, put your hands up. Like, he's just fucking traumatized. He's fully convinced that this girl's a full-on psychopath murderer. And even when she tells the detective, where it's like, yo, there is somebody here. It's Mike. And also, guys, that's the husband's name, Mike. I'm just so caught up on the way that he looks and his entity that I could give a fuck about his name. The way he looks is all that fucking matters, because that son of a bitch is scary. But guys, I'm telling you, Mike and, all this shit. So, they're partners, all like, this shit, the detective, all like these things. So, in the end of the movie, guys, the dead body falls on the detective, and he's convinced. He's like, yo, you're a fucking psychopath, you're a killer, all like this stuff. And Famke Jensen even tries to tell him, where he's like, where she's like, hey, there is somebody in this house. It's Mike still. His ghost is still wandering in this house. And the detective's like, you're a fucking lying bitch. You're a weirdo. I can see in your eyes, you're just crazy. So he has no hope on helping her, and he doesn't even give a fuck. And he thinks she's weird. So she's just stuck to deal with, still the beatings that, Mike wants to give her, and all this shit that she's been just dealing with. It's just fucking nonsense. You know what I mean? So, end of the movie, guys. While the detective is arresting her and they're leaving, fucking Mike the ghost grabs her, throws her on the other side of the house. Let's say, throws her away from the exit. The door's over here. He grabs him and throws him this way. Grabs the detective and throws him this way. Now, at first, you're kind of wondering, I get why he's beating her, but why is he beating the detective? I mean, the detective has been having his back the whole movie and has been, loving his partner and fucking, calling him his boy the whole movie. But Thing is, guys, she finds out in the movie that he's a dirty cop. So who knows what type of life he was living and how he really feels about his partner and all this shit. But it looks like, honestly, I personally think this. I personally think that they probably had this cool relationship and whatnot. He's probably dirty. Don't give a fuck about the dude. And plus, and since he just seen that girl, bang that pizza boy and him just beat the fuck out of him, he's amped, baby. He's pissed. He's amped. He's trying to, he wants that blood, baby. He's hungry for blood. That's what it is. He's hungry for blood. Now, he goes up against the detective, throws him around, and the detective's like, Mikey, it's me, man. And all this shit. And that detective's like, I don't give a fuck, man. And just grabs him and just throws him. But the thing is, guys, that detective is lucky he didn't get a beating like that pizza boy, because I'm telling you, all Famke, Guy, and the other detectives were just getting kind of tossed around. Like, grab you and just throw you over a table. That's what made that fucking pizza boy delivery kill so brutal, because it's like face broken, arms broken, stomach smacked, teeth ripped out, neck broken, you name it. Guy's fucking folded in half. Now looks like a fucking pretzel. And these other kills, just grabs him, throws him over a table, just kind of like tosses them around. Like those movies are and shit like that. But so I was like, dude, you're lucky this guy ain't fucking, like, ripping your balls out or doing, like, you know what I mean, ripping or folding your head or, twisting your head, Exorcist style type shit, you know what I mean? He can fucking do that shit if he wants to. But, so the movie ends, guys. This is where a lot of the reviews are starting to shit on the movie, was after that scene where that pizza boy got killed, and this just felt kind of rushed. Now, like I said, guys, there's really only 2 people left. I have a feeling that Famke is not going to get killed. I really doubt in this movie that after all that shit that his goes. And plus, I don't think that really would have been pretty awesome to be like, yeah, whatever, and he kills her and like, I don't know. I mean, what if that would have worked? What if he would have killed her and like, both their entities had to remain in the house together? Whoa. That would have been pretty fucking ballsy. But I know movies don't really go that route. Movies like this, they kind of like, just want to like end because they know there's probably not going to be a franchise. So it's just a one and done situation. But guys, I don't really think that this shit felt fast paced. This is the pace it really needed to be. There's really not much left to explain. Everything has been pretty much explained and to the point. And now with that pizza boy off, now it's just her and the detective. I felt like the detective might have got killed, but honestly, guys, he didn't. And Famke Jensen, the only thing that was keeping him relevant and alive in the house was that ring, baby, like Lord of the Rings. She needed to get rid of that ring, and she throws it at him in the fire, and that part kind of, I probably have to watch it again to kind of understand the context again. But one thing that threw me off is that I thought that she was going to throw it in the fire. But actually it did catch it. Either way, guys, it seemed that she needed to get rid of the ring and blow it up. But yeah, she blew it up and all like this stuff. But I just found it strange that when she threw the ring, he caught it. But from what I remember, I believe an explosion went off. So when it went off, it blew him up and the ring. Have to watch it again. But either way, guys, familiar with what happened. It was just like the context of it. It was like, okay, well, I mean, did the ring get destroyed and that's why he did? Or did he? I don't even know. It was just kind of strange. But either way, I mean, that's probably where I kind of see where you guys are coming from because, whatever. But, either way, guys, the film is still pretty solid. The ending probably not fucking spectacular, but I think it was a pretty solid ending for for the movie. She got rid of all his things. The only thing that was keeping him there was the ring. She gets rid of the ring, and then there's a little a moment for a bit, kind of like Halloween 3, which I know probably not a lot of people like that Halloween 3 movie where before one of the lasers and all that shit goes off, we get like this kind of like this smirkish type of like look or something like that. You know what I mean? From like the villain before he goes out. So he's dead. He holds the ring and like, it looks like he goes into human form for a bit and he goes in human form for a bit and he's looking at her and all this stuff. And then he eventually just blows up and, things of that nature. So there goes him and his entity and, he is no longer part of this house. His entity is now gone. But guys, I'm telling you, I mean, you don't really hear much about this movie right here. It's kind of unfortunate because of the fucking traumatic, traumaticness that it caused me in my life. I mean, fucking, just like this one and done under the rug type of movie right here. But you know what, guys? 100 Feet, I think this movie right here is definitely worth checking out. You want a good time, you want some fucking good scary shit, you want a brutal scene. Now, it's probably not A movie tier or, B movie tier type shit for most people. But you know what, guys? I actually dig this movie right here. I think that this movie right here deserves a little bit more credit for what, just for what it is. It's a simplistic story, but you don't really get scary fucking entities like this in movies today, guys. I'm telling you. And if you guys want a brutal ass kill, if you want to watch a movie for a brutal kill and you feel like you can handle it, 100 Feet, guys. 100 Feet, go for it. Don't say it. Don't say I didn't warn you. All right, that's all I'm gonna say is that don't say I didn't warn you, because if you go into this, if you go into this movie, guys, and you haven't seen that scene I'm talking about, it's gonna throw you for a loop, and you're definitely gonna know what scene I'm talking about, because it's the only scene in the movie that fucking stands out. But in that, guys, 100 Feet, this one right here, just childhood trauma. But you know what? It did me some service, baby, because now I grew up to love horror. You know what I mean? I got Wolfman on me. I got all like these horror movies on me. Sinister, the scariest movie ever. So everything happens for a reason, guys. So who knows? I could be the messenger to be putting you on game, and you could be the next future horror phenomenon, horror icon, you name it. But anyways, guys, 100 Feet, check this movie out right here. You want some good gore? You want some good scares? Some genuine scares? 100 Feet, check it out, guys. Till next time. Deuces! And stay scared. And don't say I didn't warn you.